Very proud of you.
Here we go. The camera also shines a light. I saw the funny expression I make when I'm shocked. I decided my clothes were frumpy, and I realized I've spent years saying it's fine on repeat. It's fine because I'm angry and don't have the words for it. It's fine because it's not worth the effort to explain. It's fine, though I might be doing my best to hold the family together while feeling overwhelmed. It's fine because that's what I've been trained to be. Fine, small, not...
Kody Brown without a crystal ball. Guess what? Christine Brown's book is coming out on September 2nd. And while some of you in my comments on a daily basis are a little bit skeptical about what she's going to share in her book and whether or not she's going to dive in and give us all the gory details, what I will say about the synopsis that she just read, or the quote from the back of her book that she just read in an Instagram post, tells me that Christine Brown is deconstructing, deprogramming, realizing that the things she said on the show were based upon training that she had received, indoctrination, and the fact that she was told from a very young age to not be a bother, to be amiable, and to be okay with anything. Here's the full clip. Truth about the Brown family is that there really is only one person in the family, and that's Christine, who had the deepest ties into polygamy. And her family has it on both sides. No other member of this family, even Meri or Robyn, had the deep history of polygamy. Robyn's parents, her biological parents, converted to polygamy from the LDS faith. They did not grow up polygamous. So Robyn and her siblings were the first ones. Meri's dad adopted the faith when she was 5. So he was not a child of polygamy. But Christine's family is the deepest rooted in the system. And those roots almost set a predetermined roadmap for what Christine would do with her life. Now, many people in the faith started to leave in the 90s, even in the 80s, as details about what was happening inside of the church that they were involved in, which was called the Apostolic United Brethren. And that exodus paved the way for many other people to leave. Christine's mom, Annie, was one of those that left. Her aunt, Kristen Decker, along with many of her aunts and uncles. Christine remained true to her faith because that's how she was trained, and her father, Rex, was the son of the former prophet that was killed, Rulon Allred. But Christine's polygamy is more than just on her dad's side, Rex. It's also on her mom's side because her mom, Annie, she is a LeBaron. Her mother, Anna, and her grandfather, Florin, are from the LeBaron family. Florin was a brother of Joel, who had the sect down in Mexico, and the brother of Ervil. Now, Florin abandoned his wives, and that's how Anna ended up being swooped up and picked up by Owen Allred and became a wife of Owen Allred, who was the brother of Rulon Allred, Christine's grandfather. So Christine's maternal grandmother ended up marrying, in quotations, her great uncle Owen, or her uncle, her great uncle Owen. So Christine's deeply rooted in the system. And so for her, leaving is going to be a lot different than everyone else. Meri had a life for about 5 years before. And Meri's dad, while she's said on the show that he had a lot of wives, a lot of those women left him. And he wasn't as successful as they like to claim. But with Christine, the Allred name is synonymous with polygamy. So when she leaves, it's a little bit different. It's different because she doesn't have a framework or an understanding outside of that system other than family members that have left. And the family members that did leave, they're told from a very early age that those people are wicked and will go to hell. And it's better that they be out there and destroyed than for you to associate with them, because the women and men that leave will be destroyed. I mean, that's what the teachings are. And Christine had a devotion to her faith. So I think my expectation here with her book is not one of she's going to start giving us details about what Kody did and what Robyn did and that kind of gossip. I think it's going to be more about what it was like for her to grow up like that and then realize it was all a lie. In a way, I would view this memoir maybe in a way about similar to the way that Ginger and Jill Duggar have addressed their leaving, that concept of removing and extracting what you've learned and realizing, "Oh my gosh, I don't believe this anymore," and trying to figure out what the truth is. Christine's faith is very different than Jill and Ginger, but I think it's gonna follow that same trajectory because leaving polygamy isn't as simple as, "I don't believe this anymore, so I'm going to leave," or it's not as simple as, "Well, Kody didn't give me what I want, so I'm gonna leave." There's a whole system built in there to make her stay, to make her feel guilty for staying, and when she decides to leave, it really is recognizing that when she does leave and she becomes an outspoken person that says, "I don't really think this works anymore," which she is now saying, that is going to in turn make her a target to individuals that are in her, from her own family and from her old church. Now, Christine has said publicly that she has had a mix of reactions when she sees people from her family or from her church, specifically those ones that are still inside. Some of them, she says, will not talk to her. They don't want anything to do with her, and they view her as an apostate, and others, she said, are more willing to accept her and willing to have a conversation with her and embracing her. And I think that's kind of consistent across the board, although they are taught in the church to not associate with the apostates. And Christine, by writing this book, is truly becoming an apostate. And I think it can't go underscored what a significant emotional and psychological step that is for her, because once you become an apostate, the entire wrath of the cult will come down on you. And I've seen it firsthand with other people that have left. There's someone that's a member of my channel, Ellen, who's from the group, and I have seen firsthand what she's gone through with people from the church and how she's been treated. And I've also seen how she's even been treated by other apostates, because it's not simple leaving. It might look like on TV everything is polished and perfect, but I I would assume that behind the scenes there have been a lot of tears, there have been a lot of arguments, there have been a lot of fights, there have been probably a lot of just anger about what she's gone through, sadness, frustration. And I truly think at the end of the day, the book is going to be about not just what the camera exposed, but what it was like to leave. There's a lot of books that are on polygamy already, that you can get a good understanding. Kristen Decker, who is from this group, wrote a book too. And Kristen's brother Jay recently wrote a book from a male perspective.